Welcome to the Beacon by Soul 33, teachings for your past, present and future. Good morning everyone. It is the 12th of February 2024. If you're listening to this on the Beacon app or on YouTube or on Spotify, please don't forget to like, subscribe, tag, share. Let people know when you're listening to the Monday mantras or when you're doing a meditation. It really enables me to be able to spread the word that this app exists and to keep it at an affordable price for everyone all around the world to enjoy soul progression in their own time, in their own space, with the comfort of having their spiritual healer in their pocket. So we've just come out of the tail end of this new moon energy. And for those of you listening to the Monday mantras regularly, you know that I will continue on like chapters of a book, because that's how energy is. There's, ebbs and flows, peaks and troughs. This is why there's phases with the moon. So those of you who are listening and doing the homework and progressing, you will see how the Monday mantra can be applied to your life very easily. You won't be going, what's Gaia talking about? You'll be going, oh, hang on. Here's a situation where I need to apply the Monday mantra. So as I do the recap, I always try and give you examples of things going on in my life so that you can understand how to piece things together. And I want you to try and apply and look back in hindsight so that you understand and learn the lessons that were provided for you so that you're not having to repeat things over and over again, because we can do that by having that awareness. So the last week I created the Monday mantra by saying, the grass will grow where I water it. The grass will grow where I water it. And I specifically said, don't water the weeds. This was so interesting. I had a couple of things come up last week where I could have totally poured fuel on it. And my own Monday mantra was playing in my head going, no, I need to respond with water because we're trying to grow things. This is not about my ego. This is not about responding to the shadow side of me. This is actually growing and empowering everything and everyone that is connected to the situation that I'm discussing. There was the turn in energy around Wednesday, Thursday last week. I put it up on my Insta story saying, can you feel this energy shift? And then a friend of mine, Frank Alaridi, who we did the podcast together, quite frankly, last year, he messaged me saying that he was doing something and that the astrologer picked that particular date that I had said the energy had shifted because it was the starting of something new. So there we go. I'm not an astrologer, but it was great to pick up that an astrologer had set that date for a beginning of something that he was telling me about. And so there is a turn in energy this Lunar New Year, changing to the year of the dragon. And February is a month of many deaths and rebirths, fertility and creation, because, I know that my Asian friends and clients, the year of the dragon is like the most auspicious year. Everybody wants to have babies this year or conceive this year because of how auspicious the dragon is. With relationships, it's time to reinvent ways to nurture one another. And in some cases, decide if this is what you want to water and grow or not. People always want to change their relationships, and this is not necessarily in a negative way either, because if you've got a good foundation of a relationship, the reason that you've got a relationship, sure, for all the human reasons, companionship, love, having children, having a home, whatever it is for you. But if you look beyond that, it is actually to complement one another and to evolve and grow and change, to help each other reach your potentials. So what was coming up in your relationships last week? For me, I had lots of different relationship energies come in with clients, with my partner, with my best friend, with all sorts of things that were going on. And I can see how relationships were beginning to strengthen in my life. Now, I remember seeing someone last week, and the story's coming to me now, I saw a past life where a person that I was seeing for the first time as a client had always ended up being single. being completely single in lifetimes before where they were always giving and giving and giving. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because Spirit's asking me to bring this up now. One of the main core reasons this person was single in this lifetime that we're talking about now in terms of you and I in 2024, but also in the lifetime before, which is simultaneously going at the same time as this current life, was that the meaning of trust had been diluted. And this person said to me, I trust too much. And the reason that this person feels that way is because they carry an energy of, I am going to be used. I am not going to receive anything in return. I'm obligated to act out of responsibility. And this is where the dilution of trust comes in, because there's expectation. But when we trust, we really universally trust, the universe will actually give us even more reasons to trust. That is a message, a key message, because we're going into a lot of relationship energy this week. There has been a recalibration with energy, purifying, as we know, which is what your February meditation is about. Things have been shifting, breaking down for the better, and little triggers have been coming up to test how you're going to react, if you're going to react or respond. And I had something come up last week where I was going, here we go again. And then I tuned into it. Is this something I need to worry about? Is this something that I need to react? Or am I going to just respond to this calmly and ask questions to get some sort of explanation, which is what ended up happening, and situation was diffused. So it was time to face things, and this is why you might be finding little triggers coming up, or little, things to iron out that are questioning you in terms of, how am I going to respond to this? How am I going to be able to move forward from this without it having to turn into bigger lessons because I'm not paying attention, not taking the bull by the horns and facing things. The hustle, when I was talking about the hustle last week, it's not about that we just stop doing everything, but there's been kind of like this pause to reflect. And with the new moon, and it was also Chinese New Year, I had a wonderful time with my friend and her extended family celebrating Chinese New Year here in New Zealand. It is the beginning of the Lunar New Year, and it was also this time of acknowledging emotions, whether they were positive emotions or emotions that were a bit more challenging. Things are beginning in order for us to start taking pride in who we are, that you can make change. Finances has also been up for deliberation, being as practical as you are and as you can be while you're still working things out. And I mentioned last week, people who want to express and receive monetary exchange for their gifts. All of that takes time to build up. All of it takes time to build up. But this is that momentum that's starting to grow. And you are flowing effortlessly into things you create. Because if you just start that process of creation, it is bound for a positive outcome, because you are trusting, that ultimate trust of, I'm being guided to do this, so therefore there is going to be something that's going to come out of it. But focusing on what you want and doing something about it is what we all need to do in our lives, because there is that element of acting and surrendering, which is also part of this week's energy. This is why I'm reiterating last week's lesson, because it makes a transition into this one. There has been movement in the last week, and I probably experienced all the emotions, a little bit of anger, not so much, a little bit of frustration, a lot of joy. And I was using this as a catalyst, because I was thinking, how do I water everything? How do I water everything with the emotions and not put fuel on it? Because emotions can set us free. And so by expressing them, which I had to express by asking questions to receive some sort of explanation, was in a way that gets us closer to our dreams, which might be the dream life, the dream environment, the dream relationship. We all want to see new hope come to light and the expansion of what we have now. So I hope that you set intentions over this new moon weekend that builds on what you have, but looking to do it differently, but nurture and water it. So as we progressed throughout the week, I was talking about the upgrades. Now, these upgrades are really powerful at the moment, these energetic upgrades. So I was talking about the crown chakra. In the last week, it has been very throat focused, throat heart focused, all that connection, because what is in your heart needs to be expressed. Your connections are enabling you to nurture what you want. Remember that message because it comes into this week's Monday mantra. And I pulled the patience card, being patient, when I did the collective card pull. Things take time. We water and we wait. So things take time, we water and then wait while trusting. This goes for everything. Patience doesn't mean we stop, we continue doing what we can. Patience is at the core of many dreams as they build momentum. Nothing is easy, even when it flows effortlessly, because there's still things we need to learn and we need to do to keep things going. There are still things to iron out and work through. It is mostly in our expectations, which I mentioned earlier. Spirit wants us to be patient with our emotions too. None of us are perfect. We all react and get triggered. For things to really align, we want to be able to process as we go along rather than accumulate emotions for the universe to provide a delay just before we're going to receive something. Growth takes time, and it happens over a period of experiences and events that are needed to occur before fruition. When we are patient, trust and water our seeds with what is necessary, growth happens. Emotions and thoughts can be destructive fuel or purifying water. Sow seeds that are dedicated to what you want, not going against it. This new moon is time of great intentions, dreams, and dedication to your growth. So it's a really big time for us to generate and transform. And this is why you are going to be triggered by certain things, because it's coming up to iron out. It's coming up for you to face things before a bigger fruition happens, because we don't want there to be delays then. Now, remember, I'm always here for you. And don't forget that I am only one person. I'm doing my absolute best to see as many people as I possibly can. With soul progression therapy, it is something that you do not need all the time. I am not a counselor. I'm someone here to do a big dig up of what you need, and then you get on with your life to propel yourself forward so that the next time you see me, there is something that Spirit really wants to address. But there are many ways to connect with me if you need me more immediately, such as a mini reading or a personalized meditation, which many of you get in contact with. Now, these services the mini readings especially are for short responses that you need just some guidance on something in your situation. And personalized meditations are for those who are really wanting to progress, because I infuse energy into them. And they take me a long while to do, because I tune into what you really need. And Kieran is the person to contact if you need any help, soul33@gmail.com. Otherwise, everyone is automatically waitlisted, and as and when I can, and I'm feeling okay, I will let Kieran know dates that I open up so that she can let those on the wait list know that Gaia can see you today. And it's just honestly based on me needing recovery time, because it does take some time for me to recuperate after I've seen someone for sessions. I had a really incredible client last week, and I wanted to share a little bit of the story because I loved it. I had a client and meeting this person for the first time. And before I came online with this client, I started seeing all this sacred geometry around me. And I was thinking, oh gosh, what's this got to do with my next client? So I get online and I start seeing past lives of hers as the blueprint. And I say to her, there's just, you receive healing and spiritual advancements through sacred geometry. And I could see it all coming into my body, into hers, and there was past lives connected to it too. And I could see all these carvings on walls that looked like sacred geometry. And so she said to me, about 25 years ago, she had a dream. And there was a man in this dream that said, "Come here, I'm going to show you sacred geometry. And the sacred geometry is going to be healing for you," or something like that. She said, 25 years on, I still remember that dream and never knew what it was about. And here you are telling me that it was not a dream. And it appeared to be a dream, but it was actually a healing that she needed 25 years ago before she met me 25 years on, to explain without her telling me this is what it was. And it was really quite incredible, because this is all part of that transformative energy. You may not have been ready for it back then, but you are ready for your upgrades now. Now, this app, I am really dedicated to being here. I'm dedicated to your soul progression. I'm dedicated to bringing you whatever I feel like you need in order for you to be able to move forward in your life through your spiritual patterns that you're trying to break and ones that you're trying to create. So this app is something that I created many years ago. It's just before COVID, I launched it, and it was about a year before that it was all starting to be developed, a little bit more than that. So the more that you share and let people know, it really helps me to be able to grow this. And it's my commitment to you to be here from now until the day of my last breath. Is my plan with this app, is just to be here on this journey with each other. So if you're needing to renew or you're wanting to become a member, someone had put in the group chat that they realized that a lot of apps are charging about $25 a month. And that is normal, because apps are such a huge machine to keep adapting. They're not like websites. So what I'm asking is not making me any money at this stage. I put everything into the development of the app, like trying to make it faster. So as all your subscriptions come in, we're developing new things and speeding things up. So Kieran is the person to email. We keep it off the app stores, because otherwise I would have to be charging like $25 a month. And there's that external link. So if you're needing that, please email Kieran at soul33@gmail.com to get some help, or whatever services that you're needing to support you at this stage. This week's Monday mantra. So we've got Valentine's Day this week. And while that's not a spiritual thing, because there are so many people focusing on Valentine's Day, there is an energetic concentration in the area of relationships. And I have set the Monday mantra as, I act on recharging my connections of relationships that are important to me. I act on recharging my connections of relationships that are important to me. Last week was watering, and we're purifying. Now it's thinking about recharging. So it's something that is existing, it's something that is important to you, and something that needs the battery filled up. We have had this really transformative energy, and it's important we lean into it and consider our relationships. There are people that are wanting them, feeling unseen and used in them. There are those who are wanting to further evolve and grow, and some wanting a deeper connection with themselves and source. When I'm talking about relationships, I'm not talking about just romantic relationships, our relationship with spirit, with God, with the universe. All of these relationships are needing a recharge. Like when I meditate, I see it as a recharging also, as well as a deep peace and connection with spirit. There is a creative magic in the air this week to enable you to recharge by giving what you want to receive, but without the expectation. This is the subtle difference. So when you want something and you're not getting it from someone else, give it. If you're wanting to receive more love or affection, give that to that person or whoever and see it come back to you without that expectation. Opportunities will be presented to serve and help others and make them feel loved. So opportunities will be presented to serve and help others and make them feel loved. This is a time of big changes, and we all need them in our relationships. All of us, for there to be evolution and growth, we need change in our relationship. Like often I will see clients who are of a certain age and they've done all the things, this is still the beginning for all of us. We're all starting again in some way. We're all upgrading. There is huge opportunity. There are obstacles moving out of the way, and using the knowledge of old repeated patterns and not being lazy about it is going to give us the results we want. We want to take some action by doing something to recharge a potential relationship. There is abundance and growth if we infuse the energy of recharging into what is most important. There are cycles still breaking, so this is why February, if you read my whole energy forecast that I write in brief, which is on Woman magazine here in New Zealand, you can just Google Woman online and you can find my energy forecast there. There are those deaths and those rebirths happening throughout the whole entire month. And this is the breaking of the cycles. Here is a little step-by-step, brief points that you can take into this week. 1, acknowledge what the cycle is that is coming up to you. Oh, I can see this is happening, and I acknowledge that it's happening. 2, know what you need to do. Stop and pause. What do I do to change this cycle, this repeated pattern? 3, take action and do something positive towards what you want and recharge the whole system. It's like when your computer crashes, you reboot everything and start afresh. That is what is happening with our energy this week when it comes to our relationships. Even these upgrades that are happening, my throat's been playing up all week, not sore, but spiritually I can feel it tingling. I've even started taking a little bit more seaweed to settle my thyroid because spirit was telling me to do that. There's all this throat stuff, true expression, allowing ourselves to speak from the heart, to act from the heart. And throat chakra is not just about talking, it's also about being authentically who you are. Happy Valentine's Day. And remember, it's not just about intimate relationships, but I want you to look through the eyes of how do I recharge this relationship with my child, with my partner, with my colleague, with my business partner, and making sure that you actually want to, because a lot of people are being faced with the reality of, I don't know whether I want this anymore. This is the death and rebirth. So just taking a moment, closing your eyes, and allowing you to open up your throat chakra now to express yourself authentically and truthfully, and knowing that the words that you speak and the actions that you'll take of acknowledgement are to recharge your connections, recharging your connection with Source and the universe, recharging your connection with yourself and whoever else that is important to you. Your Monday mantra is, I act on recharging my connections of relationships that are important to me. So there's going to be a lot of acknowledging and taking steps forward and understanding what cycles need to be broken. Oh, a lot to think about. Now, I've set your homework, they're very relationship focused. And remember, the homework is there as a guide. So if you ever fall off the bandwagon of meditating and you don't know where to start, it is there for you to come back and go, oh, I can start here. And even if you are challenged by them, or they make you feel uncomfortable, or you don't like my voice or whatever, still just do it anyway, because I think it's important, even when you have resistance towards something, especially when it comes to something that's going to do you good, whether you like it or not. Just sit with that discomfort, because it's usually about judgment and expectation and not going into a area of the unknown. So I think it's really important that we just move through it anyway. So wishing you a really happy week, and recharge everything this week and really fill that battery up with that loving intention and connection that's going to serve you in the long run.